So in my last video, I mentioned my friend Michelle, who saved my ass by being truthful. And this is what I want to talk about with this video is Michelle, how she saved my ass, and really the coercion and manipulation that I've had to deal with for the last 5 years. And Michelle deserves recognition for what she did, and she was truthful. So a little bit of backstory. Me and Michelle dated when we were like in our 20s. It was like 2005 and then up until like 2007. So about 2 years. She ended the relationship. We were in our mid 20s. We didn't have kids. Fucking stupid shit. Anyways, no hard feelings whatsoever. We moved on. But at that point, and this is what I got to give actually her gratitude for and why she deserves recognition. I think she knows, but again, being truthful, and I want to get to really the story that unfolds, as to why this coercion manipulation continues. So, throughout all of this, Michelle, with that breakup, she kind of opened my eyes to some accountability that I had to take with some of the relationships that I've been in. They just haven't worked. And partly it was like my fault because I was holding on to something. So like I was like 27 years old, and I told my family, that one of our family members fucking sexually assaulted me when I was a kid. Multiple times. Like, it wasn't all at once. It was like periodically. I remember some vivid shit, and it's kind of haunted me up until that point. So, like most families, normal families, I would, you'd tell somebody that you just were sexually assaulted as a kid, and now you're 27, and you're crying in front of them and telling them, this is why my relationships aren't working, is because, like, I'm having flashbacks and all this other fucking shit. So anyways, my family, when I told them all, I got them all together, told them all, and, oh yeah, we support you, and, fuck, I already knew that this person had done it, to multiple other family members, but nothing was ever done. So, but no, they said, we're going to get you help. We're going to do something. I called them the next day, my grandparents and my aunt, and fuck, nobody answered their phone. And that's how it's been for 20 something years. I was like, no. So I got myself the help. One family member did support me. They ended up saying that, it happened to them too. So, we kind of supported each other. And, yeah, life goes on. So, I was able to heal from that, and I did. And I then met my ex-wife. So she would have been the first person, that I told everything to. And, when everything happened with us in 2019 and she accused me of what she accused me of, it was about in 2020. She then contacted my good friend Michelle. I'm not going to name her last name, but Michelle. I almost did, and I want to protect her last name. But she's already said, anything to do with family court or criminal, I got your back, because this wasn't right. But, and she did have my back. She really did. Whereas a lot of people, they might not even have done it. They might have just said, fuck, I don't even want any part of that. But no, she had my back on that because, she's got kids too, and she's a mother. And, really the first thing that popped out of her mouth was, how can another mother do that to their own, especially the daughter? And I was like, well, and fuck, I wasn't even in a good state of mind then either. Fuck, I'm dealing with all this criminal shit. And then, again, like in 2020, my ex-wife tried to reach out to Michelle, and I have, a full conversation of that. Thanks to Michelle, because she did the right thing. And then became a witness in my case because of my ex-wife trying to reel her in with her coercion and manipulation. tactics that she's fucking good. She thought she was good. I'll give her that. But yeah, Michelle answered a Facebook message from my ex-wife wanting to talk, and then Michelle didn't answer right away. Messaged her in the morning. It's kind of like, I don't know what you want. That part of my life is over with. Something like towards those lines. I don't have the actual conversation in front of me, but it's kind of here. And yeah, maybe I'll attach it to this video. But she opened up the conversation to try and coerce my friend to accuse me of sexual assault. Not only like sexual assault, but assaulting her animals. And that's how she kind of started. Kind of just saying, well, I know Rich hurt you and your animals, and I know how such of a monster he is, and I'm not holding a secret. Some fucking bullshit. Again, I don't have the full conversation, but it's to that extent. Finally, towards the end, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but, towards the end, Michelle was kind of like, well, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but whoever's telling you that's lying to you. And, Michelle had already known that it's my ex-wife making this up. She already proved it by falsifying documents to make it seem like, I'm sexually assaulting my daughter by writing "Dick Too Good" on a fucking drawing that had nothing to do with it. I talked about it in one of the videos, the Silver Bullet stories. It's crazy. This is the type of woman that I've had to deal with, and the system allows this. Like, she's parenting my kids, but yet, I'm getting accused of harassing and fucking stalking. But meanwhile, I'm clearly documenting all this for everybody. I have to, to protect myself. But, without really the protection of Michelle in the beginning, my case could have went completely different, because a lot of people know I didn't have a good lawyer. So a lot of this stuff I had to do myself. And again, I presented this to the Crown. I was like, no, you guys got to fucking listen to this. This is the type of person I'm dealing with. And it's not just coercion with Michelle. Like, she also coerced, and I'm just going to put her out as a friend, because to me, she's a nobody. Anybody, again, to do that, you're scum. But, she coerced somebody else, which, again, I'm going to consider her friend, to accuse me of grabbing her by the tit. Like, that's totally out of fucking character for me ever. So, like, nice try. And, this person's story, within 3 different interviews, the fucking scenario of how it all started and ended, it was always different. So it was very easy for this person, but fuck, it was a battle. Like a constant fucking battle. I don't think people realize it. And, it's people like Michelle that did the right thing and said, this isn't right. And this man, who's my friend, regardless of if we dated and we broke up, again, like, she opened my eyes really huge. And that's one thing I don't think she really realizes, that, I was able to actually fucking release it at that point. God in the universe said, okay, dude, like, it's time, get rid of that shit. So, like, I thank you for that too. But, I owe her my life as well for telling the truth in my case. And she not only did it for, criminal court, and we used it as evidence, but she did it for family court as well. And the family court's completely fucking different, because, well, Richie became an advocate. So let's use it against him that he's an advocate. Regardless if, he was, we falsely accused him and we judged him and nobody wants to take accountability for it. My friend Michelle took accountability. The shit never happened. So she gave me the evidence to prove that, this is the type of person that, yeah, you really are dealing with. And, what my ex-wife didn't know is that, Michelle had already reached out to me for advice, because I'm an advocate, on what she should do about her abusive ex. So she actually took my advice and left him. And she lives happily now. What goes around comes around. And I was putting out a good thing, and it came back to me in a good way, because, again, like I said, not everybody would have taken the road that Michelle did. So, like, I'm 45, I'm kind of losing some fucking hair, because I've had anxiety from this for a long time. So like I gotta shave my head, but hey, I'm homeless. I can't plug my fucking shaver into a tree. So there's no outlet on the one of the bathrooms I use to like take a shower or like shower off. Like that's another thing like people don't realize. Like this is kind of going a little bit off topic because I took my goddamn hat off, but like fuck, being homeless all this time, like the last time I really took a proper shower or a bath, I love baths, was like fucking near 4 months ago. Like I obviously like clean, but actually a normal like whatever what you guys are doing. Last time was April 24th because the next day I left Ottawa. I left my buddy's place. So before I left, I took a bath because I knew it was going to be a while. But anyways, that's going off topic. But I wanted to get into that, that story about Michelle because I mentioned her in my other video, and she's obviously an integral part of my life. Like fuck, I've known her for decades. She's had my back. She knows the type of person I am, not the type of person that they tried to portray me as. Did it change me? It did. I really had to become more of a warrior. And, that's my persona, and it has to be. Because like I said in the other video too, like, sorry, my kids are involved. And like nobody fucking uses my kids as pawns or bait, really, to get back at me just because she lost control. So I got to fight. And hey, with that, comes a lot of lessons. And again, Michelle taught me a lot of lessons. It's all about accountability. And there's only one person that won't take accountability. But meanwhile, I'm stuck in a fucking tent, homeless, and been advocating for this for 5 years. Still have friends like Michelle who have always had my back no matter what. And I've said this many times. And a lot of people, they said it, but I knew that they didn't. I knew, it talks to me, regardless of what people want to think. You kind of know the people that are always going to be there, regardless. You could go fucking 6 months, maybe a few years, not even talking to them, because hey, life goes on, and yeah, sometimes people drift apart, but boom, they got your back, no problem. Michelle's one of those people. So, again, thank you, Michelle, for everything you've done. You continue to do. I'm proud of you, anyways. For you got kids now, so you got to fight for them too. You have, and like, unfortunately, everything happens for a reason. Is really all I can say. There's no unfortunately. Just everything happens for a reason, and fuck, you got to fight.